Next up in the workshop, I want to know, are you chicken enough to go to war? Hello guys, welcome back to the workshop. We are continuing to work on Dragon Mama for the War on Chicken, or the War for Chicken Island. Oh, if I didn't have the material right in front of me, I wouldn't know what I'm talking about some days. But that's okay. And of course, it's one of the Kickstarter exclusives that was made for the games by Draco Studios and Nomo Sapien. I still love that name. I think that's a fantastic name. So what we are doing is I've pulled out the card, so I have a better plan as to what colors I need to work with as we continue to work on the Dragon Mama. Right there. And we are going to start with her beak. Now, according to the card, the beak is just a yellow beak. So we're just going to make it a yellow beak. Probably put a little bit of highlight and stuff like that on it too. But for the first part, we're just going to, tap on some yellow. We're not going to need a lot. But I am going to need, my make it look bigger things so that I can make sure I get a nice clean line. And I'm just gonna keep going. Try and get a nice even layer color around the beak. Not forgetting to put the color on the other side as well. Well, so we're not going to need very much the yellow to get us through what we're doing. Uh-huh. The problem with studio cats is that they leave their fur everywhere. Just putting on an extra coat to make it nice and even. There we are, at least for the moment. I'm going to let that dry up. Pull some of the cat hairs that are, getting attached to her. And that is pretty much that for that color. So I told you we weren't going to need very much. It's nice and simple and easy. The hair is going to take a little bit of work. Of course, she's blonde haired, so we're gonna work up the blonde hair. Gonna start with Xandri dust. We're gonna do a little bit more Xandri dust than we did the yellow, but not much. In fact, that's just about what we're gonna need right there. Just that little dollop. And now we get to be just a little bit messy again. Hi, bud. Now's not the time. I know you want up, big guy, but you can't. All right, come on up then. Meet everybody. Everybody, you remember Toothless? This is Toothless. He wanted to come up and say hi to everybody. Didn't you? Nah, you wanted to see what Dad was doing. Hello. Here's my big boy. Oh, I love him so much. Keep down, you got, big guy. Now's not the time for cuddles. It's time for Dad to do work. If you watch, he probably is going to jump up on my shoulder. Don't even think about it. Hey. So basically what we're doing is we're just going to give her hair a base coat of the Xandri dust. We're going to try and get it into all the nooks and crannies. We're going to be as neat as we can around the facial hairline. I'm going to try and make it nice. Nice and smooth. As consistent a hair color as we can. And if it takes a few If it takes a few layers, that's okay. We want it as nice, as solid as we can get it. And again, if my guess is correct, and this is based off of Daenerys from the Game of Thrones, Daenerys has almost like a platinum blonde, a very light blonde, almost white hair. And that's okay. I can deal with that. I can make that happen. And there's a kind of like a it's kind of like a gold crown thing that she's wearing. And if we mess up and get paint on that, that's not a big deal. It's right in here that we want to try and be as neat as we can. But I mean, if not, let's go back to the skin color and fix it up. It's not that big of a deal. But you know, try and be as neat as you possibly are able to. It just helps in the end. Okay. I think I've got the hair pretty solid. There we are. And now what we're going to do is we're going to give it a quick wash. So we're going to darken it up even more. And we are going to use the Reichland Flesh Shade. And we're going to give the hair an all-over wash. Of that. Because we want to bring out the details of the hair. And again, if it's a little messy, that's okay. I mean, there's a couple places where you want to try and be tidy, and that's, you know, the hairline up and around the face. There we go. Oh. And that's called modeler's plans, everybody. It's when you inexplicably drop a miniature for no real reason. So now that wash is finished, or while we're waiting, wash is finished and we're waiting for it to dry, we're gonna clean up some other areas. And maybe give a highlight to the beak. At least not gonna get much of a highlight. Not much of one anyway. Now we're going to take a touch of yellow, a touch of a brighter yellow anyway. And we're just going to run it down. Oh, I'm going to paint that in later. And we're just going to run it down the edge like that. And that's about it. There's not much really to do for the beak. Now it's just starting to fix and pick out different different parts. We are going to take our Abaddon Black, we're going to take just a tiny bit of it, and we're going to fix up the legs, the feet. Go. And I guess if you want to, at this time, a slightly larger brush, and you can pick up the base. You can paint that black too, but right now I still need to hold on to it, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. And she does have a comb. So we'll start that. Do I want to start that now? No. Maybe not. You know what we could do, though? I'm going to need that. can base out the eyes. The wash on it is almost dry, so we can go back to the hair. But in the meantime, we can go to the eyes. Again, this is just this base coloring, just blocking in the color. It's not a finished eyeball by any stretch of the imagination. But, you know, it's just kind of nice. There we are. Okie dokie. Now we're going to go back to the hair, because it is mostly dry. And since we still have some of the Xandri dust that is available to us to paint with, you're going to go right in and paint some of the big flat areas. Leaving as much of that those dark recesses. Alone. There we are. We can kind of see how that hair is going to start turning out. And then for the under part of the hair, we're going to actually switch brushes. You think this one's small? I'm going to go to an even tinier brush. I'm going to go to my detail brush. And we're going to get in there. Do our very best to get all those strands picked up. And then on the braid, again, we're just going to leave the deepest parts with that shade color in it. And we're going to cover over the rest with the Xandri dust. It'll look quite snazzy. Now it's just tidying it up. Picking out the last little bits. And there we are. And we are going to continue on with the hair, the comb, and the eyes next time. And that should be all the last steps we need to do to make the dragon mama come to life. All right. So, in the meantime, stay safe, be safe, and paint safe. And we'll see you next time in the workshop.